Mute there. We can hear the audience. That sounded so awesome. Hey guys, how's it going? Indio here in the house with y'all. Little distracted. Sorry about that. Hey, so we got a great show today. We got somebody that's joining us. It's been a while since she's been here. I think last year, May at this time last year. So we get to catch up, talk, and maybe talk about stuff we didn't talk about the last time. And I know she's got a great new album on. I got to hear all of it, and you know what? It's pretty awesome. She's always put out quality music, and so hopefully you will find as much enjoyment as I do. Thank you so very much, each and every one of you that are joining me today. But without any more of that, chitter chatter, all that other stuff, I told her I was like, I'm going to talk a little bit. I'm talking too much already. So with that being said, here, let's go ahead and run that intro and bring in the one and only Candace Vargas.
Hi.
She's here all the way from
I'm
New
here.
Mexico. It's you. It's Candace Vargas. How are you doing, sweetheart?
Hi. Good. How are you?
I'm alive and well. I am kind of a little erratic right now. I've been trying to get all this stuff done, and I had like my whole show planned, and then we were talking, and I did it wrong. So and now I'm like, okay, I got to fix all of this. I have to, not even my camera's right. Golly, I'm all disarrayed, all in disarray rather. So, how's New Mexico?
Doing great. It's nice and warm finally. It snowed like a couple weeks ago, so
Yeah, yeah, and I
finally
was like,
got some heat.
I was like, it's a perfect Prince song. Prince has a song that's called "Sometimes It Snows in April," and
Hmm.
so see, I know a lot of things, guys. There you go. And, there's usually some people jump in and they're like, "Oh, what's the lesson of the day?" It's because I'm always sharing some news and information and stuff. And don't ask me, I just do it. I don't know why, I just do. But yeah, no, that's cool. I know you're one of a lot of people that have come from New Mexico that still, we it's wonderful having you because people forget that, or they don't understand, or maybe it's egocentrism where you don't realize that Tejano music is in its core, it's actually labeled incorrectly. It was always the Chicano movement at the very
Hmm.
beginning when it started. It was called Tejano music because the majority of the people that were performing were from Texas,
Yes.
and it just became a thing. But in reality, the style of music, it exists everywhere. And we have a lot of prominent, very good musicians coming from New Mexico as well.
Thanks.
And you are one of them, and you've been doing it
Thank
for quite
you.
some time, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, I've been doing it for actually this January is 25 years I've been in the music business.
Mhm. Yeah. Hello, Bobby Custom. Yeah, he says, hello, Candace. Hello, Indio. How are you doing, brother? Thank you so very much for joining us. Gigi La Chicana, how are you doing? Saludos from Mission or Buda, Texas. You
Oh
guys are
wow.
so close together. It's like, why do you even have different names? You should call it there, Texas. Because where are you from? Over there, or over there, or right there. You should just be there. That way it's all just
Just all there.
there, all there. George Vince, saludos everyone. You're from Cali, of course. Here, Freestyle Cartel
Wow.
in the building. Cubo Indio, how are you doing, brother? Thank you so very much for joining us, man. And if you got any more information you want me to share, go ahead, put it inside the comments so that way I can bring it up and share it with the world, brother. Gigi says hello. Why did you call me Corenzones? That's a weird name. I like the name La Onda Chicana. Yeah, that's what. Well, that's exactly right. I think that was kind of, well, it was called the Chicano movement by some
Yes.
people, La Onda Chicana, but other people, the music in itself was La Onda Chicana,
Hmm.
but the style, the propagation of the style was called the the Chicano movement
Right.
because it was the source of identity, and it was a breaking away because, believe it or not, well, I shouldn't say believe it or not. However, in that time in the 60s and 70s, uh, Hispanic was a word of assimilation. That's a made
Mhm.
up word by the US government. They wanted you to assimilate into the American government. A lot of people were using the word Hispanic in order to kind of convert you into, well, we only speak English here. You don't speak any Spanish, blah, 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 forgetting the fact
Mhm.
that Spanish was spoken here for 285 years before they landed on Plymouth Rock.
Yep.
But uh, uh, that was a word of assimilation. So a lot of people were taking offense to it. And so they were calling it Chicanos. And that was our own word. That was created by us. It was not created by anybody else. And,
Mhm.
I say us, but the Latin community. It was created by the Latin community as Chicano movement. And that's where that belongs to. And so that's why we say that. So, but yes, it's very, very true that we are, us here in Texas are very spoiled because we have access to Tejano music at any given time.
Right.
In New Mexico and other states, it exists. It's just
Mhm.
that it's not as prominent as other music. And those that do come from there, I have to give them a lot of props because, like Candace, because you're doing it and you are singular in a location, or not singular, but you're one of the few in a location that is surviving because of the sheer love of the music,
Yes.
which is a totally different perspective. And then I think what I find from a lot of Tejano singers from New Mexico, they have a different perspective on how music should be, put out. It's a different perspective. And so they don't have the access to a lot of the easy tools that we have to, so they have to make it up, and it's really, really cool.
And it's really cool about in New Mexico is that even New Mexico has its own music. We have a New Mexico style music, which is there's no accordion, there's no bajo, there's a guitar, two guitars, a bass, drums, and it's just a tad bit faster. So what I did is I incorporated a little bit of our style, New Mexico style, into Tejano, and
Right.
you can like, kind of hear that in my music because I still want to embrace our style here, but I will also want to embrace the Tejano style. And I've always said Tejano doesn't have borders. Tejano
No, no.
music does not have borders. Everyone is welcome in Tejano music.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I mean. You don't have, like, here. Normally, if you're in a relatively large city, you can find somebody who plays an accordion,
Hmm.
and you can have that accordion player. It's harder because that's not something that's taught, how to play the accordion in the Spanish style. You can have accordion lessons, and you can learn polka, but it's going to be German polka. It's not going to be, that's where we get the polka in the first place, from Germany.
Right.
But we don't have that. Vito Trujillo says, "Hola Indio, hola Candace, how are you doing?"
Hi.
Rick Valderrama, hola, how are you doing? Rick, the
Hola.
main man himself. Hey, bro, I miss you, bro. I need to come down and visit you. We need to keep talking and do some more stuff together. La Reina, here's one right out of Lubbock, Texas. I talked to her a couple of weeks ago. Awesome, beautiful person, inside and out, and great, great music. And
Wow.
like, I love her spirit. She's got great spirit. Jojo Herrera from Tejano Up. Hola, how are you doing? Tejano Up Radio in the house. How are you doing, brother? Thank you so very much for joining us. Actually, Buddha is 5 hours away from Mission. Then why did you put Mission, girl? She's like, I'm not that close. Well, you're in Texas, it's far. So, saludos,
I,
Candy says the Gigi. Bobby Castaneda says, I always get educated when I watch
oh,
your show. See, I'm sorry, bro. It just happens, man. I like to share. Look, you know what? I've told the story about the three sisters. Okay, that for Native Americans we have a thing called three sisters, and
right.
it's the soup, and which is, well, you should know. You should
Yeah.
know what the three sisters are because it's real prominent in New Mexico. But the three sisters is corn, it's beans, and squash. And the reason is because corn grows, and corn grows really, really tall, but the
Mm-hmm.
roots are very shallow.
Right.
And so, in order to strengthen the corn, you plant beans with it. And bean is a vine, so it wraps around the corn. And because it is a vine, it has the corn to wrap around, and it strengthens the vine. I mean, it strengthens the corn, so it
Hmm.
has more stability. And then squash it furrows on the ground. It's got broad leaves, and it grows out. And as it grows out, the big leaves help protect the moisture on the ground. So all three of them are symbiotic, and they all work
Yeah.
together. That's why they're called the three sisters.
Right.
But the key thing is this: if you plant corn by itself, without, I mean, just by itself, any common breeze will knock it down
Hmm.
because it doesn't have a long root. So if you don't know your roots, you'll be blown away. You have to know where you come from.
And my dad, and he's actually watching right now, he
Hey,
always
Dad.
tells me this. You don't know where you're going unless you know where you've been.
Correct.
He tells me that all the time. You don't know where you're going unless you know where you've been.
Mhm.
And whether it's even music, he says learn from the people in the past, learn from the greats, learn from them. They built a path for you to learn from and build off of. So he's always told that to me so many times.
Yeah. Callie says it's called Chicano. Chicano. We have a black and brown berets, a Chicanoism. Yeah, Chicano. That's I think that's also a play on Mexico. Mexico in itself, it's spelled with an X. So if you pronounce it correctly according to grammatics, it's supposed to be Mexico. You've heard me say this before, for those of you that follow the show. But it was actually in 18, like I want to say it's 1852 or 73. The Mexican government passed an edict to pronounce it Mexico with a J sound on the X,
Yeah.
but it's really Mexico. And it was because it was a conglomeration of two words, the
Yeah.
Mesiclava people, which were the moon people, which were the Aztecs and the Mayans who would watch the stars. And that's where that
Wow.
Mesiclava comes from. So just so you know, see, now you owe me $5 as I taught you something. You don't know why I'm so smart. I got smarticles. Joel Chavez, how are you doing, brother? He says, Cesar Chavez and the Chicano movement.
Oh,
Of
hi,
course.
Dad.
Yeah.
That's my
Hey,
dad,
Dad.
Joel Vargas Sr.
Oh, the guitar player. Yes.
Yes. He's a
You're pretty
killer
good.
guitar player.
I like his rhythm riff. You have a little rhythm riff, a little that you put out
You-
I can pick it up as a non-native speaker of Spanish. When I hear music first. Then I
Mhm.
have to translate the letters or the words later, the lyrics later. And so I'm always picking up little things, and I picked up the way he plays the guitar. He has this little lick that he likes to put into it. It's like a little flick on
Yes.
the bottom string, or whether he's on the bottom stroke or the upstroke, whichever one he does,
He does
whichever
like a
one's prominent
boom,
on his own. Yeah,
boom.
yeah,
He
yeah.
does a bass note and then down, bass note down, bass
Well,
note down.
it's like a double little click that you can
It
hear
does.
that comes through.
He
Yeah, it
does a
comes
little
through.
bump, bump,
Yeah,
It's like has like an
yeah,
old like mariachi sound that he does,
yeah.
and that's a part of like the New Mexico style that is here. You'll hear that all the time, and we started incorporating that into some of the music that we have. So like if you listen to Me Bebí Tu Recuerdo, that has it. If you listen to some of the other music that I have, that also has it. And he's actually written a couple of songs on the CD.
So that's pretty awesome. Very, very awesome. Hey, Joe. Thank you, by the way. And Vivian Chavez. Hola, amigo. Lawrence and Dio and Candace Vargas listening from
Hi,
Santa Fe, New
Vivian.
Mexico. Vivian. And I sent you out, Vivian. By the way, I'm going to send you a picture of the posting so you will see that it's heading your way. I sent her a package and it keeps coming back to me. And I think I have
Oh,
the wrong address, but I got you, girl. I got you. Shout out from DFW. It's Tejano time. Buddy, how are you doing, brother? Thank you so very much for joining. He had Conjunto Cats this past Tuesday. He's got another group coming up this
oh.
Tuesday. So, very cool guy. Great show. The partner of the show. Actually, he's my business partner. We have Tejano Connects together. Vivian Chavez says, Candace, my brother is Mariachi Mike.
Oh yeah,
That's
he's a
the
good
DJ on
DJ.
KDCE from Española, New Mexico. There you
Yep.
go. Roger Sina says, Saludos, saludos, brother. Thank you so very much for joining us. Danny Noyola. That's how I'm supposed to say his name. Noyola. Saludos, amigo. Indio, Alma, and Danny Noyola. Yeah, you're coming up next week, bro, aren't you? Yeah, I think I have him next Thursday, which is really cool. Speaking about your music, I don't think I did this the last time that we talked. I didn't get a chance to go through everything that we talked because we were kind of all over the place with your interview. Danny Noela says, by the way, hello, Candace Vargas, because I failed to mention that you have a great catalog. And like you
Thank
said,
you.
you've been in it for like 25 years. It's not like you got out of bed this Thursday, you ate your Fruit Loops, and you said, you know what? I want to be a Tejano singer.
Yeah.
After I put on my socks and get the sock drawer all squared away, I'm gonna be a Tejano singer because that doesn't happen. But you've got some what I did. So we're gonna do this little thing. So we're just gonna take away from. I know we're here with a purpose, and we're gonna play your music because she's got some great music that we want to promote. But I also want to give you a sample of what she's done in the past because I want you guys to not only fall in love with the music that she has right now, but the music that she's done before, and give you an opportunity to buy it. Okay. And what I'm telling you is, if you're listening to us on the radio a station or on the app, then there's going to be an add to cart button, and you can click on the add to cart button and buy it then. Okay. So they're all ready to rock and roll. But so this one is from her, I want to say one of your first albums. Quince, which one is that one? Is that your second one, your first one?
That one is my third one. My third Tejano.
Uh,
So Es Amor is my first Tejano.
Es Amor, yeah.
Enamorada is my second Tejano. And
okay,
then
that's the
Quince
one
is
that
my
I don't
third.
have. I have Es Amor, Quince,
Probably A Mi
Soy
Modo.
Ella,
A Mi Modo.
A Mi Modo. Yeah. Okay. So this one's from your Quince album. Hey, so what's up, Candace? Says, Ford Luis, how are you doing, brother? Thank you so
Hi.
for joining us. And you know what your dad says? We also refuse to use auto-tune with Candace.
Oh, yes.
Yes, I don't know what you're talking about. Yes, like
Yeah, he going piggybacking on what he said is that he ever since I was a little kid, he's always had me in the studio. We have our own studio at home. And no matter what, if I went flat or sharp, he's like, okay, we're gonna stop here. We're gonna do it again. You're flat on this one, push a little bit, or hey, you're pushing too hard. You're sharp on this one, mellow it out. So everything, no auto-tune.
yeah, and actually, to be honest with you, it helps that because of the fact that if you get auto-tune, it's easy to compensate and not do it. But when you're on stage, you don't have that availability. And yes, we do have things that you can bring along to auto-tune. You do have that sort of implement that you can put into, even especially now with the digital mixers that we have, the stage mixers. I have 2 of them. But the thing is that it's all dependent on who's playing the guitar, and it can be really, really difficult to get that note. And then plus also you cheating yourself.
Yeah.
You're also going to hurt yourself. You're going to hurt your voice, and your voice is your instrument. Practice your instrument. If you can't hit that note, then change the key to hit the note. I don't see why it has to be that note. It can be a note. Good music is good music. It does not matter who put it out or when it was put out. That's the key thing that I want to tell everybody. Good music is good music. It doesn't matter if it was 20 years ago, if it was yesterday, or if it's going to be 10 years from now. Good music is good music. That's why we like the oldies and we like the new stuff, because it's good music.
Right.
So just appreciate the music in itself. And one of the things that I like to harp on is that back in the day, and you know this, you would record 10 songs, but you would only release 1 or 2.
Right.
And so you had really good songs on those albums that never got an opportunity to be heard by other people. So that's what I'm going to try to do today. Okay. And Joel says, we will mail you a CD. Brother, thank you so very much. I appreciate you, but I'd rather pay for it. So just tell me and I'll pay for it. I'm a guy who practices practice what I preach. So this is from your Quince album. And Vivian says, music is good for our soul. This is true.
Amen.
Yeah, I hearted that when she posted it on. I don't know. You tagged me on one of it a couple of weeks ago, Vivian, and I was like, so very true. She's got it. She's got it. So, me quise desmayar. I picked this song because, first of all, it's one of my favorite songs from that album. You've got a lot of them. You got 3 or 4 of them. So I had to kind of, I think I'm going to pick this one just because it shows a different side of your music. And this is from earlier in your career. So, it's still very, very good. So
fun fact about that song, guess who wrote it?
Your dad.
Joe Bravo.
I was guessing. I just guessing.
Yeah, Joe Bravo wrote that song.
Joe Bravo wrote the song. Listen, we're still gonna be on it. I can hear it now.
Después de tanto tiempo, ayer que te encontré, vinieron los recuerdos de cuando tú eras mío. Qué hermoso te mirabas allá
That's a great song, and
Thank
it's one of the things I wanted to share with everybody to make sure that they get to hear at least a little bit of the song and get to know that you know almost every artist that's been doing this as long as you have great music
thank
that
you.
not everybody gets to hear. Not everybody got a chance to share it. Norma Salazar says, "Hello, hey, the Tejano dance king or kid. Woohoo, Candace, how are you doing? I'm gonna faint." He said, "TDK."
Don't faint, don't faint.
No,
Get
faint.
him some
That's not a little pre-tell, you know. Pardon the pun there. Hello, Indio, says Norma. How are you doing? She says it's a great song and great vocals, Candace. Yes.
Thank you.
Right. That's why I wanted to share it. I'm
I
only
was
going
a
to play a little.
baby.
Yeah, I wanted to. Yeah, you were so young in this one.
I was
wanted to play
15
a
when I
little bit.
recorded this.
Yeah, I wanted to play a little bit so that way people can get to hear it and just hear. So, it's a different side of you. This is one that really stood out in this album because this style of music is not usually attributed to female singers.
Really?
Yeah, most female singers don't sing this type of big horn kind of, you know, and especially when this album was released, which makes a really big difference.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So, Me Quise Desmayar, it's from her Quince album. So be sure you guys go and check it out. Pick it up, buy it. You know, it's, you know, that song is, you know, it's 99 cents. Yeah.
Apple
You know,
iTunes, Amazon
yeah,
Music, Spotify,
that's right. That's right.
all different platforms.
On Cubo Radio, add the cart. It'll take you to Apple Music. You can buy it there, buy the album there, buy all of her albums there. I don't make any money from that transaction, but because I participate in that transaction, I get a discount on my licenses because I'm a fully accredited radio station with ASCAP, BMI, C6, OCOR, and even I was supposed to mention the one from Mexico. There's two of them in Mexico, and I can't remember their names, but I am accredited there too. So
Really?
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so people ask me, "Are you accredited in Mexico?" Yes, I have the names. I don't remember, but I have the names. I can look them up. Borrado B, how are you doing, B? What's up, Indio? At
Looking at the NFL draft.
oh yeah, don't stop, dude. No. I'm a big Dallas Cowboys fan, and I want to see who they draft. And actually, just take a little away, okay? Just a little bit. This is what's gonna happen. This is my prediction. I'm putting on my czar future hat. I'm gonna predict the Cowboys are gonna drop out of the 12th spot. They're gonna drop down to the 10th or 20th spot. I mean, rather the 20th spot. They're gonna trade, and they're gonna trade with a team, get a wide receiver and another number one pick. Just watch.
We'll
I believe
see.
that's going to happen. We'll see. B says, "Hello, beautiful people. How are you doing?"
You're talking to
TDK
a
says,
Broncos fan.
"You're a what?"
I'm a Broncos fan.
Broncos fan. Well, we can't all be perfect, sweetheart. Not all of us.
Well, I got a joke for you. My dad might get mad at me, but I got a joke for you.
Talk
What
to me,
does
girlfriend.
the post office and the Cowboys have in common?
Oh, don't get me. I don't know. What?
They don't deliver on Sundays.
Ah, nice. You know what? I started this radio station with the intent of, you know, just targeting military personnel.
Mhm.
And there's a squadron that they're very active with me of Marines in Japan.
Oh wow.
And this is about 3 or 4 years ago, and it was the Cowboys when they were rated number one. They had the number one pick. I mean, not the number one pick, but they were the number one seed going into the playoffs, and they were going to play against San Francisco 49ers, and there were a bunch of them that were San Francisco 49ers fans, and we made this bet that if the Cowboys won, they all had to, you know, chant the "Let's Go Cowboys" song. And if the Cowboys lost, I had to wear a San Francisco shirt, and I lost. So,
I got a story for you. So it was a while back. I think I was 15 at the time. I was performing for the Tejano Music Convention that was held in Dallas. And it turned out that this was preseason, and I was at the convention. There were Cowboys cheerleaders, football players. I even had some DJs forcing me to take photos because they knew how big of a Broncos fan I was. And so I made a bet with all of them. I made a bet. I said, hey, it's preseason. The Cowboys and the Broncos are playing this weekend. If I win, you either owe me $10 or breakfast. If you win, I will wear all Cowboys memorabilia and you can take all the photos you want. My boys won. 3 people still owe me $10 and 1 person.
You better collect, girl.
I'm trying.
Candace, TDK says, Candy probably doesn't remember this, but I met her a long time ago, and I was fortunate enough to see her perform again this past fanfare.
I do remember
TDK.
you were inside of the stage.
See, there you go. Yeah, that's the deal. Norma says, and Indio, you're so awesome as well. I'm not awesome, girlfriend. I'm just a guy from Vancourt, Texas. I'm nobody special. So thank you very much, though. I don't deserve your accolades. I'm just a guy. Joel says, predicting that the donkeys will bring something this year.
Hey, don't say that, Dad. You're a Broncos fan too.
I don't hate other teams. I like other players.
Yeah.
But there's not another team that I like, if that makes any sense.
He used to be a Dolphins fan when Dan Marino was. Yeah.
Dan Marino was amazing. He was just a guy that was just incredible. And actually, Dan Marino's backup, I can't remember his, damn it. I can't remember his name now. It just slipped me. He was actually my high school football coach.
What? Wow.
He was actually the I want to say he was a third string quarterback, but he was backup for Dan Marino. And Dan Marino's first year was the year, like 2 years after they went to the Super Bowl undefeated. The only team to ever do that. He still had a Super Bowl ring, and
wow.
It's huge. It was a huge ring, so that was pretty cool. Well, yeah. Trying to read all of these real quick. I'm sorry.
That's no problem.
Okay, there you go. All right, guys. So sorry, I try to keep up, but no, that song, Mickey se desmayar, because first of all, you're singing it. You're young, and you're singing it. And it's not normally especially a young girl song. It's not a female song. It's that in that time, females were they were pushed away. Don't sing that kind of song. We need to be singing these dainty songs, ay, amor, and, cumbias and stuff. And so this one just shows your power and your strength and your delivery. And you're harmonizing all the way through it. So that's another thing that goes along with it, because harmonizing is something that is in all by itself takes another talent. Like with my good friend Rick Valderrama, I'm always talking about how his vocals are just supreme when you listen to them. If you really pay attention, they're so sublime, they're so wonderful, because of the fact that he'll go from dual vocals to thirds, and from seconds to thirds, and then back to seconds, and it's just so beautiful, so very well put together. And the horns obviously are excellent, because him and his brother have been playing horns for forever. But yeah, it's a great testament to your ability. So young, and then now you're still carrying it on. So just from me, maybe you should play it next time. Just saying.
Yeah, we've been we do that one and Esta Canción off that album. Both of those are written by Joe Bravo. And funny story about that song, it turned out that Joe Bravo he was so old school. He didn't really believe in emails and kind of stuff like that. So we got a phone call, and we weren't home at the time, but we got a message from Joe Bravo, and he called my dad. He's like, "Hey, Joel, this is Joe Bravo. I don't know how much time you have on this thing, but here's a song for you." So he recorded the entire song on our voicemail. And he's giggling while he's recording it. And so then later on, he calls again, leaves another message saying, "Hey, Joel, I got another song for you." And he recorded that song on our voicemail, and we still have it to this day.
That's crazy. That's awesome. Actually, I'd like to listen to that. It's just, you'd be surprised how a lot of songs come to, how they come to exist, because they're not, it's not, they come from odd places, like Rosa para una Rosa from Ram. When I interviewed him, he told me that they wrote it on a piece of toilet paper. And it was just, they were just there hanging out, and the guy, he's like, wait, I got a song. And then they didn't have anything to write on, a magic marker and toilet paper. And he said, you know how hard it is to read magic marker on toilet paper? And I was like, no, because I would write it on paper. So, but yeah, it was really cool that that was something that they did. And, you know, just how music comes across. I've worked with, I work really closely with Sevi Contreras from Slack Monster Studio, but he is, you know, obviously the founder of Texas Latino, but he has some wonderful stories of how music comes out, and some of the stuff that I've sent him, because I learned music. I mean, I learned how to speak Spanish in college, you know. I'm not saying I'm super awesome at it, but you know, I don't speak it like, well, I don't have I don't have the Texas slang yet, you know, because it's still, there's a lot of and I go, that's not a word, and they're like, yes, it is. My mom told me. I was like, she's saying it wrong. It's not a word.
Yeah, and same thing with here in New Mexico. We have our own slang, and like, for example, what is sapo? Sapo is a frog, but we always said, oh, that's sapo, that's lucky, that's a slam dunk. That's, so the slang is different, and the dialect is different everywhere you go.
Yeah, I know. Here in Texas, they say pala for shovel, and the correct word is escarvadora. However, if you're in like in Central America, which they do speak Spanish, if you say pala, that is the slang word they use for streetwalker, for a hooker. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, pala is a hooker. So just goes to show, you never know. Joel says that works with Sevi is a monster songwriter too. Yes, he is.
Yes,
he is, and that's why I laughed, because he's like, really, Lawrence? And I was like, yeah. And so I try to work it out with him, and he's just like, dude, but you know, he can hear it. You know, if you work it well enough, you can hear it. And so a lot of songs that have been given to, like Shelly Lattis, some of her songs, they were just this guy. He's just banging on the table and singing along, because he just got the rhythm in his head,
right?
And then you just build it from there. But it's still good. It's wonderful. And like I said, it's great music. I want to go ahead and play another song, and this one's one of my I would say this is one of my top 5, and I have to say it's one of my top 5, which is, you have to understand, I have about 7 of your songs that I like, but they interchange because it's you've got a lot of good music.
Thank you.
And I just wanted to share these so that way people can better understand that you have a good range, and you have more music out there that we need to definitely talk about. But this is another oldie that I want to go ahead and share with you, and this one is called Ya No Te Quiero. And tell me a little bit about that song. Do you remember that song?
Ya No Te Quiero. I think that's the one my dad wrote. I want to
hold on. Let me pull up where it's from.
Trying to remember which album that is.
I know. Yeah. I was like, yeah, I better tell her from which album. It's from A Mi Modo.
A Mi Modo.
Yeah.
Ya No Te Quiero. Gosh. I think that's the one that my dad wrote. I might be wrong on that one. I'm going to have to double check.
I can check let me see what the bottom is.
Let me see.
I'm trying to type it up, guys.
I always make jokes saying that, like, all my songs, instead of, like, you know how, like, you on Excel you have like spreadsheets and things like that. I always say I have a Rolodex in my head, and sometimes my Rolodex is missing papers. Nothing but songs, right?
Right. Yeah. Let's see here. No, I don't even have it listed. That's weird. Ever since I changed over to the ISRC code, a lot of that stuff I don't need to worry about, because the ISRC code gets everything for me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's why for those of you that are listening, that are new artists that want to send me music, you can send me music to admin@qvradio.net, and just make sure that it's recorded to industry standards, and that you have your ISRC code, so that way you can get paid for it. And the ISRC code is going to carry, it's a specific note that will carry who wrote the song, the singer, the artist, and then also production, all the aspects that all of the different licenses pay. And that's what it's for. So that way you can get paid. It's not for me, not because I want to get anything out of it. I don't get anything out of it. But it is good for you to do that. No, I can't. Usually I can pick it up on my Discogs. So if you're looking for a song and you don't know who wrote it, look it up on Discogs and you can usually get it there. If I don't get it there, then I don't know what to tell you. So anyway, it's Jorge Vargas. That's what it says. It says Jorge Vargas. Jorge Vargas.
Jorge?
Jorge, yeah. Oh no, incorrect. That's 1969. Sorry.
I was like, I don't recognize Jorge Vargas.
You're not that old, girlfriend.
I was like, do you mean Joel Vargas?
Yeah, right.
No, but that's a really good song. That is really good song.
Well, why don't we go ahead and take a listen to it,
Yeah.
and then we'll talk from there. I'm gonna go ahead and let it play all the way through because, like I said, this is one of my favorite songs, and you'll get this one, and I've got another one. We'll play this one, and then we'll get back to the music.
Para acercarte y
Very nice, very nice. See,
Found out
that's
who it's written by. It's Jose Carlos Lopez Salcido.
yeah. Actually, your dad just posted it just
I
over
know,
six
and I just
years ago.
found I just found my album. It was
There
like
you
right
go.
next to me, and I was like, it's right there. Why am I not looking at it?
Gigi, you're right. It's not always correct though. Just saying, yes, it's true, but you do have there is a application where you can go ahead and request them to change it. I don't know what it is that goes through. I've never asked them, but you're right. But I always use them because they're the most official for whatever that is worth. Your dad Joel says, "Hey, that was Jose Carlos Salcido from Monterrey who wrote that for Candace, and it's a beautiful song." Now hopefully you like it as much as I do because
I
I
love
told you
it.
this is like one of my tops, and it's a beautiful song, and
Thank you.
I for me, good music needs to be heard, needs to be played because good music is good music, and that's all there is to it. And
Thank
I like
you.
it. Beautiful vocals and song, Candace, says Vivian Chavez. Thank you, Vivian, for joining
Thank
us.
you.
Yeah, and it's wonderful because of the fact there's just different sides of you in all of your albums. Not to say that they all have a consistent sound, but you're not formulaic. It's not the same song written 16 different times. No, it's you're helping, you're experimenting with different genres and pushing your music in different ways, but staying true to what the Candace vision is, and which is
Thank you.
really, really good and hard to do. It is hard to do. It is hard not to follow the trend of the day and put out something that's kind of suspect. You don't want to do that. You want to stay what's true to you and put out what really means to you, because this song sounds wonderful. I love
Thank
it.
you.
So, and like I said, it's from one of your previous albums, so go back and find it. Go get it.
We got physical copies too.
Yeah, awesome.
A little self promo.
Most definitely. Alfredo Rios says, "Hello, everyone. That was a great song. The lone Mexican has spoken." Thank you so very much, Alfredo. I hope you're feeling better, brother. I'm still under the weather a little bit, by the way, so that's why I'm kind of laggy. So, but I'm there. I have good spirits, and what can I say? I can't say anything else. Let's talk about your other right now. Your new songs that you're promoting. I know you have, we were talking about Por Cada Vez, but you also have a couple of other ones that you wanted to concentrate on. Which one did you want to concentrate on first?
I want to do Me Bebí Tu Recuerdo. That is one of my favorites that I recorded on this one.
Yeah. Okay. I don't have that one. No, just kidding.
Oh, okay. Then I gotta go.
No. All right. See you later, fool. No. Like, fine, I don't care. I'm out.
I'm actually proud of this song because it's doing well. It's charted in different stations and in different categories, and it's doing very, very well. And it's this one's sentimental to me because if no one knows, there's actually a video of me and my dad just playing guitar of this song, and it's already hit 65,000 views on Facebook, and I think 30 some on. I might be wrong on that one on YouTube. I might have to double check. But it's just me and my dad, just acoustic guitars and having fun. And we've had a bunch of people asking, can you please record it? And we were like, sure, let's do it. Let's record this.
That works. Mi bebés tu recuerdo, right?
Me bebí tu recuerdo.
Mi bebí tu recuerdo. Check it out.
Mi mano izquierda tome tu retrato y en la otra mano una copa de vino y brindé contigo sin estar presente y brindé contigo por tu amor ausente y metí la foto dentro de mi copa, en ella tu imagen se fue disolviendo y poquito a poco y muy lentamente todo tu recuerdo
Yeah, baby, that's what I'm talking about.
Having a little fun.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was just jamming out. I'm like, yeah, good song, good song. I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it a lot.
Thank
You know,
you.
like I said, you have a lot of good music. You have good range. It's not just one thing. You know what I'm saying? It's not that one thing that you're going with. Mi viví tu recuerdo. Beautiful love is Candace. Uh, is I'm not understanding you, Vivian. I'm sorry, sweetheart.
I think she was saying that she likes the song. Me bebí tu recuerdo is the name of the song.
Oh, I thought it was B. I
It-
said it wrong.
well, when you say it with a B, it sounds like a V, so that's why bevi.
Okay.
A little
Okay.
just a little trick.
Mhm. So that was my fault. See, I told you I don't know, sorry. I got it wrong. My bad. That's cool though. I mean, it's a great song. Mi
Well,
viví tu recuerdo.
my mom can't pronounce it, so she calls it copa de vino. That it's like that one line in the song Copa de Vino, and she was like, "Yeah, can you sing that song Copa de Vino?" I was like, "You mean Me bebí tu
Yeah.
recuerdo?" And she was like, "Copa de Vino, yeah."
Yeah, that's the one. I know. I used to be one of the DJs at Graham Central Station here in Texas, and it was hilarious because they would be like, "Hey, dude, man, can you play that song?" And I was like, "Okay, which song? The one with the beat." Oh, okay,
Oh.
yeah, with the fist pumping beat.
Okay.
Yeah, you got it, bro. Not a problem. I got you toast, man. I got you toast. Saludos a todos, Irene Mendoza. How are you doing, Irene? You got the NFL logo in the back of your little promo there. I mean, your profile picture. I'm waiting for my Dallas Cowboys one to see. I know it's my football, but it's still my thing. And I am a forever fan, by the way. I was a fan when they were 1-16, and I'm a fan now. So I'm not a Wayfair fan, but I know some people are like, yeah, I hate the Cowboys. Yeah, well, you loved them when they were winning. Now you hate them because they're losing. So
I was there, win or lose. I was there since day one.
yeah, that's a real fan. I can appreciate a real fan. That's why, but it's people are fickle. Sometimes they like and sometimes they don't like. It's no big deal. So real quick, what do you got coming up next? What's your next thing? I know we get a little sidetracked.
So my next thing is we're gonna be going to Colorado. We have a couple of performances out there in Pagosa and Grand Junction and places like that. And then we have some local events. We're looking for more places in Texas so we can start traveling again and just staying busy. And then I'm gonna be releasing a country album
Ooh,
of
yeah.
originals that I've written with a couple of covers.
Yeah. What's that one here? Let me look it up. Hold on. There's one. As soon as you said that, I was like, I know it's
Pain in my past.
Well, he said "Pain in My Past." That's a good song, by the way. But that's on your new album right now.
Right.
Where is this song? Oh my gosh! See, I have to go through.
I have so many of them. Are you talking about country? Blues?
Yeah, it's country, but it's. I'm looking for the song.
Whenever it's Lo que Somos.
Well, it's hold on. I'll find it. As soon as I see it, I will know it.
I wonder if it's
not
Quince.
I know you have Baby. It's from your Quince album, yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah. Okay. I think I know which one you're talking about. What's it called?
Yes. It's from your Quince album.
Right.
Anyway.
I remember.
You're gonna, you know what? You're just gonna have to buy the album.
Yes.
You're just gonna have to buy the album, and it's not that bad, by the way, because it's on sale right now. So it's only $1 a song. You can buy them all for less than $10. Pain in My Past. Let's take a listen to that one, Joel, just because you said so, brother. Check it out. Yeah. Yay. Oh, hit the wrong button. Sorry. Yeah. I'm all over the place. Yes, 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 yes. Very cool. Very cool. So
Thank
love the
you.
song. Pain in My Past. It's a great song. Yeah.
And it's a
So
segue to my country album coming out.
segue to country music very much. And then Joel chimed in. He goes, yeah, I
You know
bet
what
it was
probably
No Te Tengo. Yes, it is. That's the one. Because I have a little star next to it. That's how I know. Good job. So very good.
I
There's
was
a junior and a senior, by the way. So
yeah, there's a yeah, there so Joel Vargas Jr. Is actually Variant who did the No Siento Nada remix. So
okay.
fun fact. So we have Variant, DJ Variant on on live.
There you go. See, thank you very much, DJ Variant. I have my own little. I used to DJ a lot, so. But I started out with I started with albums, then I went to cassettes, then I went to CDs,
Mhm.
then I went to MP3s, then I was doing it with videos, music videos, and so I did the whole nine,
Wow.
all of it. So,
I'm
and
gonna
I'm
brag a little bit on him. Is it turned out that he does EDM, which is electric dance
mhm,
music,
mhm,
and his style. We actually wanted to incorporate New Mexico Tejano style with EDM because if you really think about Tejano music, you don't really have the younger demographic in a
mhm.
Tejano scene, and we wanted to incorporate the younger generation to come up and kind of like come into Tejano music as well. So we wanted to experiment with that a little bit.
Yeah, that's actually the song I believe that I used for the intro for
No,
your.
that one was Estrellita.
Was that Estrellita? Okay.
Mhm.
I know that was one of the two that I had picked out. And I was like, I'm going to try this one and try that one. Because when I was doing it, it was really early in the morning. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning. I better do something. I'm not going to just sit here and record. So, but yeah, no, like I said, once again, it's great music and everything else. And you've got some stuff coming up. So, where can we see you next, performing next, that we can say for sure?
For sure, I am performing in Grand Junction for Cinco de Mayo weekend.
Mhm.
So I'll be in Grand Junction, Colorado, and then after that, I would be in Pagosa, and also in Colorado. So
Mhm.
we're doing a lot of gigs in Colorado, New Mexico. We also have one coming up in El Paso, Texas. So we'll be out there pretty soon. That one's more of a private gig, but touring, just going everywhere.
Yeah, most definitely, most definitely. By the way, if you do want to get a hold of her, you can always go to the one and only Candace Vargas website, CandaceVargas.com, or actually the QR code actually takes you to her link tree with all of her social media sites and everything else that you can go to. But her website is CandaceVargas.com. So you can go there. I suggest you go to CandaceVargas.com, go buy some merch, go buy some music, and then you can go to her links, and then check out where you can find her or anything else. And the way you get Candace Vargas to your place is you go up to your manager of the club and you say, "Hey, dude, you know what? Have you heard a new Candace Vargas song? It's pretty badass. Why don't you bring her down here?" You know why? Because they don't know what you want. They're doing the very best that they can, and so they're just bringing whoever they know will bring them in. So they're fishing, and if you tell them that this is what you want, then that's who they'll bring, because they want to make sure that they get people coming out, and that's how you get them. That's how you get them there. So just go up and say, "Hey, Candace Vargas, bring her in," and then she'll show up. See, it's that simple.
Mhm.
It's really easy. And then when she does show up, go to the show, buy some merch. That's what you do. Go to the show, buy some merch, and then put this down. You don't have to put this one. There's going to be somebody like me with a $20,000 camera making music videos out of it. This is never going to do the same quality as this.
Oh wow.
They won't be the same. Trust me. It
Oh
won't look
no,
alike.
I can just hear it now. My mom, I'm getting a phone call from my mom saying, I want one of those. Because she has cameras too. She takes videos and photos of us too. And she's like, knowing her, she'd be like, I want that.
Well, you can't go down to local Walmart to buy it. I guarantee you. But put it down. Make memories. I guarantee you the best memories that you have are the ones that are here. Flipping through your phone, it just reminds you of what you have here. You can remember more here than you can on your phone. So put it down. Ask somebody to dance a song, make a memory. Don't spend your time watching it on your phone. Spend the time enjoying the show. And that's why you're paying. What you're paying for. Go out there and enjoy the show. Be part of the group. Don't be by yourself. That makes you lonely in a room full of people videotaping it. Don't be lonely. Be part of the crowd. Enjoy yourself and enjoy the fun. Enjoy the music and go out there and have a good time. And ask for Candace Vargas. She's pretty awesome that way. So,
hi.
How you doing? Yeah. So let's see here. What is that? Galvan Vargas. Sweet. Love time. It's my magical appearance, you know.
That's my mom.
Just like that. See, I can do that at will. So there you go. Jeanette Garcia says she's amazing. I love her music.
Hi.
Yes, she is, and I love her music too. Well, I have 5 albums now, but I do have 4. So 5. I bought 4 rather, but there are 5 that I have. So there you go.
I
want the camera.
I told you she was gonna say it. That's my mom.
It's a Komodo.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, it's a Komodo with a Blazar lens on it. It's a 35 anamorphic that's on it. So look them up and you'll see how much it costs. Candace is an awesome musician, says Deb Martinez. Deb, thank you so very much for chiming in, girlfriend. I really do appreciate that. Joel Vargas says the Mavericks said it best one time. We are here for you, not for YouTube. There you go. Very true. Very, very true. Because there's a lot of really videos out there. And it's I find myself sometimes I'm watching, because I need content sometimes to make my promo videos. And I'm like, do they know they're kind of, what are they? You're like, I don't think this person knows that they were drunk when they were videotaping this, because you see this is awesome, and then you see the back pocket, you're like, what? So just let it go, guys. Just let it go. Just enjoy the show. That's what it's for. And
to have fun.
Enjoy the show. Yeah, have fun. Enjoy, have fun. Yeah. Wow. Don't say wow. It's okay. We can get together. I have 2 of them, by the way. So, wow. But so yes, go and check out her one and only. Her one and only QR code, so that way she can get a hold of that. And then also, you know what? I wanted to play this one only because of the fact that I saw it and I was like, oh my gosh, I wonder if she's seen it, because it's such a throwback and it's such a fun video. I kind of changed it because the colors were bad, so I kind of did a little duty. A little
magic.
A little magic. Let's take a look at it. This is a video that I was able to get a hold of and kind of do a little, we'll see.
I'm kind of scared now.
Don't be scary. It's not being scary. Don't be scary. It's going to be awesome, guys. Trust me.
Clase, no se olviden que mañana vamos a tener un examen de lo que estudiamos hoy. Prepárense.
¿Qué me pasa cuando estoy en clase y cuando llego a mi casa? ¿Acaso se me nota tanto así en mi cara que de ti estoy loca y ciegamente enamorada? Y no hay yo qué decir, pero lo obvio aquí es que no puedo fingir, no puedo mentir. Me siento tan feliz está sola, me han visto hablando, acaso se me nota, tanto así en mi cara, que de ti estoy loca y ciegamente enamorada. Y no hay yo qué decir, pero lo obvio aquí es que no puedo fingir, no puedo mentir. Me siento tan feliz estando junto a ti, y lo que me pasa es que el amor llegó a mí. Y no hay yo qué decir, pero lo obvio aquí es que no puedo fingir, no puedo mentir. Me siento tan feliz estando junto a ti, y lo que me pasa es que el amor llegó a mí. Pero lo obvio aquí es que no puedo fingir, no puedo mentir. Me siento tan feliz estando junto a ti, y lo que me pasa es que el amor llegó a mí.
Oh, qué cute. Qué cute, qué cute.
That was my first
Papuchis.
video ever. I was 14.
It looked great. See, Papuchi, saludos desde Cuba. How are you doing, Cubano?
Oh my God.
Papuchi. He's got some new music out, so be watching out for him as well.
Oh, it was funny.
Yeah.
That music video, it turned out that the guy that thought he was the crush that wasn't the crush, he
Uh-huh.
actually met his girlfriend, now wife,
Oh, wow.
during the music video.
That's cool. That is very, very cool. That is very, very
Oh
cool.
my gosh, I was trying so hard not to laugh. It was so cute. I forgot.
See, there you go. It's wonderful. Daniel, got to see you. How are you doing, Daniel? Sorry, buddy. I didn't even see you there. Yeah, Daniel is a good friend of Tejano Music. He's got his own little YouTube group, a Facebook group, and he does a lot for Tejano Music. Thank you very much what you do, Daniel. And so does Norma, by the way. Norma does as well. So thank you. And Papuchi, he's got a new song coming out here pretty
Oh
soon.
wow.
From Cuba, desde Cuba, the Tex-Mex king of Cuba. Yeah. So people are like, what is Tex-Mex? And he's playing, and they're like, oh my gosh. so, and he's got some great remakes of Selena's music. So
Oh
go check it out.
wow.
Yeah. No, I really did like that one. I was like, man, this is a cool song, and it's cute, and it's fun. And I was like, you know what? Let me see what I can do with it. And so there you are.
All of that was filmed at my high school.
I see it.
So
I see it. It was really cool.
oh my gosh, I was a baby on that one. I still had braces. Oh my gosh. Don't have them anymore.
I don't have them anymore. Yeah. No, it's cool. I mean, at least you knew what you wanted to do. What you wanted to do with life that young. Not a lot of us knew. I mean, when I was 14, I just knew I wanted to go to sleep late and wake up later. That's all I had on my mind at 14. I mean, so you had a vision, you had an idea of what it is that you wanted. So, that's great. And you've stuck to it. Here you are doing it some more, doing it here, doing it now. And, it's a great testament to your drive and to your strength, because this road is not an easy road to travel. There's a lot of highs, there's a lot of lows, more lows than highs, but you're still here. You're still putting out great music. You're still doing a great job. You've got a great unit behind you, your dad, of course, and your mom, which is pretty awesome. And
My brother too. He He's amazing.
Yeah, and so it takes a good, that's what people mean by it takes a village. People assume that everybody has to chip in. No, not everybody, but everybody has to do their part. I
Mhm.
think we forget to be human to each other. We often turn that off and we try to isolate each other, and that's incorrect. In order for this world to really move forward, we have to learn to be human to each other. We've lost that, and that's why there's so many different groups. Groups don't need to exist if we're human to each other. There's no need for Black Lives Matter or Blue Lives Matter if we're human to each other, because we won't do those things that causes that need.
Mhm.
You know, that I had to answer this question a couple of weeks ago. Why was it that Native Americans, if because I'm always talking about my culture
Mhm.
and how we were passive, we weren't aggressive, and how we were advanced. And the question came up, well, why did we get conquered so easily by the Europeans? And I was like, well, it's your train of thought. You see, what we were good at, what we put all of our effort on, all of our education, was on the family unit and making our society, our world better. We treated the world correctly because of the fact that the way we had it, we looked at it, everything had spirit, and we respected everything.
Mhm.
And so, and we treated women differently. And it was always the family unit. We didn't have poverty. We didn't have jails. We didn't have murder. We didn't have any of those things. And so, but our main thought process was advancing the people. That's why, like the Aztecs, they came up with the concept of, or not the Aztecs, but the Mayans, they came up with absence of value, the concept of zero.
Mhm.
Trigonometry, algebra, all of that did not exist without the concept of zero. And they were doing it. They came up. The Aztec calendar is 5,000 years old. They they were the ones to predict that in 5,000, that's the total rotation of the solar system is 5,000 years.
Yep. From zero to.
And that's what they figured it out. But the European nations, their education, what they centered on was conquering each other. Their mastery was focused on war, on dominance. They didn't even know that you could grow crops until they were dominated by the Moors. The Moors were the ones that introduced agriculture to the European nations. They didn't know that you could grow crops. They were just picking fruits and eating animals. That's all. That's why there were no wild animals in Europe. There are none. They ate them all.
Mhm.
They didn't know how to grow food until a different culture from the south came and showed them how to grow crops. We we engineered corn. Corn did not. Corn did. It wasn't a crop that was self-sustaining. It had to go through an engineering phase. That's how that's how advanced we were. Big difference. So of course they were going to beat us because they spent thousands of years learning how to beat each other. We spent thousands of years learning how to love each other. Don't match. Don't match. So that's just another one of the. Joel says, "I love the lesson."
He's a huge history buff, and that was the thing is we grew up learning our heritage because our family has been in New Mexico since 1598 when the first colonists came in.
Mhm.
And on my dad's side, his family on the Cisneros side, I think was the first 13 colonists that came into New Mexico. I might be wrong on that one. He'll tell you, but
Mhm.
it our family's been here for years, and then we still have our side because on my dad's side he has Tewa and Comanche. No,
Mhm.
Tewa and Navajo, and my mom she has Comanche on her side.
Yeah. And you
So
said it correctly. You said it correctly too. And so that's how a lot of people they don't understand. I'm Karankawa. I'm
oh wow.
Karankawa and Arapaho. So that's where we come from. When we come from this area, we've mingled. And what people don't understand is like, well, how did you grow and all this? Okay, when we have powwow, there are two tribes.
Hmm.
Like Comancheros and Navajo. They get together and they have a powwow. And then this guy says, "Hey, I've got two girls and three boys that are single." And this guy says, "Hey, I've got three girls and two boys over here." And then they swap. And then the girls that were Navajo go to Comanchero and they become Comancheros.
Yes.
They're not Comancheros slash no, they're Comancheros. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it would work out. And that's why we didn't have problems like King Henry VIII, who was mentally retarded because he was inbred. That is what that was keeping the bloodline clean.
Yeah,
That's
pure.
what that means. They were pure bred because they were brothers and sisters and cousins, and sometimes father and daughters, or father and nieces, or something like that. It was gross, but
I agree.
that's what they did.
Yeah.
People don't realize the advancement that happened with like Aztecs. When Tenochtitlan was at its peak, was 360,000 people living in Tenochtitlan in Mexico City, which is Mexico City now. At that same time, London was still a village. They had no buildings. They were living in huts. And here's 300,000 people with running water, indoor plumbing, streets, buildings that were over 300 feet tall. You know, the edict at that time was set by the Roman Empire, and you couldn't build more than 3 floors up, because at that time they weren't using mortar. They were using just stacking. They were used mortar, but they would use them on buildings that were done by the papacy or by the kingdom. But
Right.
just in general, the rest of them, they were just stacked out. They would make bricks and they would stack them up. And if you stack them up more than 3 feet high, 3 floors high, it will crumble. That was the edict. And so, you know, if we spent more time reading books instead of banning them and burning them, we would learn something. So, sorry, I went on a little tangent there.
Hey, I'm an avid book reader here. So I'm a little upset because there was a book that I don't know if you heard of the author Rodolfo Anaya.
Mm-hmm.
They banned his book Bless Mi Ultima from schools, and I'm like, if you want to know a little bit more about New Mexico culture, he really shows it. If you want to know like how I grew up, like my grandma, like a lot of the stuff like curanderas and using different herbs to help with ailments and things like that. I grew up with that with my grandma. So she taught me certain things like that. And I'm like, it's sad that they took those out, or even other books that I read.
Because it's disparaging. That's why. It's because it's
Yeah.
disparaging. And it's not necessarily in a way that is intentional to be bad. It's in a way that it's okay. It's like taking offense. That term, take offense, is exactly what that means.
Mhm.
I can say something that is very general, very generic, but if somebody hears it, they can take offense to it regardless of what my intention was.
Mhm.
They can take the offense and be offended by what it is that I say without me actually intending to offend them.
Right.
And that's what taking offense is. And when you tell the truth, and the truth is not always something that people want to hear, you know, it's unfortunate, but it is the truth. You cannot change the past. The past has been done. It's you cannot change the past. And when you try to cover it up, that is the first sign of authoritarianism.
Right.
When you try to change the past.
Yep.
Because then you want to put yourself in a better light. A true leader will acknowledge his faults and work toward fixing them. That's a true leader. You know, bravery is not, you know, getting yourself, you know, taking the bullet or whatever. That's not bravery. Everyone is afraid. Everyone. Bravery is what you do when you're afraid. That's the difference.
Mhm.
So these things get convoluted sometimes, and they get messed up, and it's unfortunate, but it's very, very part of our world nowadays. And people are getting especially in social media, they get a lot of the wrong messages. They get the wrong idea. They're listening to people who are not educated enough. They're just getting stuff from wherever, and they're trying to make an idea of something, and it shouldn't be that way. You know, it should be. It should be a formula from the parent. You know, parents should know that they should talk to their children, not talk at their children. A child should be taught how to think, not what to think.
Mhm.
Those kind of things, and that's how that goes. And so, it's just some of those things that gets messed up sometimes. Ruth Ann says, "Well said." I practiced my English really good today, so that's why I did it very well. Joe says, "I like you. If if you dumb down people, they are easier to dominate. Yes, very true. Yes, ignorance is easy. Actually, that's what Plato said about democracy, which is kind of referring to what the today's political climate is. Plato said that the major fault in democracy is that
Mhm.
eventually the dumb will elect one of their own, and then there will be no one to educate them into knowing that what they're doing is detrimental to the society.
Mhm.
Because, you know, if you're unwilling to learn if you're right all the time, then that should tell you right away that you're
Right.
wrong. If you're unable to listen, then there's a big difference between hearing and listening.
Right.
There's a huge difference, and if you're unable to sit there and be human enough to give a person an opportunity to say what they want to say,
Mhm.
and then you give a rebuttal and them giving you the same respect, then you have already lost,
Right.
because whatever it is that you do will affect you and affect everyone around you, and it will never not be for the better. It'll always be for the worst.
And sadly, now the art of discussion is not there anymore. We're just too busy yelling at each other and not
Mhm.
actually sitting down and say, okay, well, here's what I believe in. This is why I believe in. Tell me your thing, and have a discussion, a back and forth. I mean, when I was in high school, we called it Bible study. It really wasn't Bible study. It was different religions coming together. We had a Jewish girl, Muslim, Baptist, I'm Catholic, different people come together, and we didn't, yell at each other saying, "Oh, I'm right, I'm right, I'm right." No, we actually all sat together and talked and said, "Well, this is why I believe in this, or this is why I practice this." It was a discussion, and I feel like the art of discussion is not there to actually have a beautiful understanding of each other, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
No, most definitely. A lot of people automatically believe they know where you got your information,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of funny because well, you watch this TV too much. And I'm like, I don't watch TV. Well, you listen to this person. No, I don't. I don't listen. I do everything on my own because I read. I I have that ability and I enjoy it. And
Right.
I don't let other people formulate my opinion for me. I have my own opinion because it's formulated by me. My children have their own opinions because it's formulated by them. I don't let people tell me what to think. I think on my own. And that's the way it should be. And we're getting way off topic. So I'm
Yes.
sorry about that.
Soy can
So
soy.
snake and
My new
soy.
album, Soy can soy. We're back on track.
Yeah, I know I was like, oh wow, we better stop.
We will go down that rabbit hole later.
I know. I've done it a couple of times with some people that they're like, you're easy to talk to, and I was like, it's because I listen. So, but no, your album is out. You can get it at any of the places that where you get your your music from. It's available on all of those streaming services, but you can also buy it. You can also go to CandaceVargas.com. That's her website, but the actual QR code takes you to her link tree where you can go ahead. It's not her link tree. It's not a link tree. It's where her links exist.
Yeah.
But it's like Linktree, but you can go ahead and get all of her information there when you can find out where she's going to be at. You can also get some merch. That's how you support artists more, by the way, if you go to these places, because they get that helps them more. They get more of the money earned from there. That's how you do it. So with that being said, we've come to the point and we have to have the lesson of the day. Alfredo. I'm sorry.
That's not a bad thing.
I don't know why I do that, but it just happens.
Hey, we have in my family we have a big word Sunday. Okay, we get a big word and we just say it on Sunday and tell each other what it is. So big word Sunday. So it's okay. Lesson of the day.
The big word Sunday. I'll be like troglodyte.
Last time I said supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Yeah. No, that's a good one. No, troglodyte is like somebody who loves trees or something like that. I don't remember. But I'm always using words that sometimes I don't know, but it is what it is. And so Irene says, saludos, amigo Papuchi. Oh, yeah, Papuchi, thank you very much for joining us. I think it's like really early over
Yes,
there
I
or late
forgot
over there.
about that.
I used to
He used to,
use the word of the day.
yeah, so what was cool is he was part of like a subscription, and I don't know if he's still part of it, where you'd either get a Spanish word of the day and an English word of the day, because he's always wanting to learn new Spanish words that he's never heard before. And he'd always come home. He's like, "Hey, I learned this or I learned that." It was really cool. And I don't remember what the subscription was. Every day,
Oh,
you'd get a new email.
I think we talked about this before, not you and I, but I've talked with other artists. Is that how do you say green peas in Spanish?
Green peas. How do we say it?
How do you say it, and what's the correct way to say it?
That is a good. I don't know any other way of saying green peas. I've always known it as God. What did I used to call them? I used to call them something else when I was a kid, but wasn't it like guisantes? Arvejon, that's what. Yes, yes. But isn't like the actual is like guisantes, like green
No, the
peas?
arvejon is once again it's a colloquialism. Just like here in Texas, they say chicharo, and it's
Mhm.
not. The green peas is judías verdes. See, Alfredo says chicharos. See,
What?
yeah, it's judías verdes, and not judías verdes. Judías verdes mean green Jewish ladies. No, judías verdes. That's what green peas are.
Ask about turkeys next time.
Huh? About
Ask the turkeys.
turkeys? Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
ask
that's a
them
good one.
what it used to be called.
What did turkeys used to be called?
So
That's an
when the
interesting.
Spaniards came to the New World and they saw a turkey for the first time, they didn't know what it was. So they called it gallina de tierra.
No, de
They knew
tierra.
what it was.
What?
They
No
had
way.
no
Yes.
clue,
Yeah.
but I didn't know that. Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
That's also like a tortilla. They called it tortilla, and a tortilla it's incorrect. It's a clasquel. That's what tortillas are. They're clasquel. They called
Yeah.
it a tortilla because that's what it looks like to them. It looked like a tortilla. A tortilla is actually a frittata, which is a frittata is like an omelet, but it's a solid omelet. So you
What?
just scramble it and you just cook it. It's just a big omelet. So
Yeah.
if you look it up if you Google it and go Spanish tortilla, it's going to be an egg product. And that's why they called it tortilla because it was yellow and it was round. But it's actually a clasquel. It's incorrect. It's a clasquel. And then
What?
flour tortillas did not come around until Jewish immigrants landed in Mexico, and the flour tortilla is just an amalgamation of the unleavened bread that Jesus ate at the Last Supper. So that's where that comes from.
Oh, I'm learning new stuff from you. That is so cool.
Everybody pays me $5. I'll put up my PayPal here in a minute. No, just kidding.
That is so cool.
Yeah, it's we take things for granted, but that's where we live. So, but definitely check it out, look it up.
Wow.
You're welcome to look it up. You'll be like, oh man, how does that engine know so much?
That is really cool. I didn't know. I'm gonna have to look that up after this. That is so cool.
Yeah, you'll be like, what? Yeah, there's and it's funny because I've actually read a book that said that that was a book on Texas natives, and it said that the Karen Cowans were extinct, and I was like,
I'm right
I'm
here.
extinct. I'm extinct. Holy mackerel! What does that mean? But people just they go off of they don't have a real valid, you know, they don't
Maybe they
have
meant,
anything. Well,
yeah.
it's because they don't. I mean, how do you know? If you're a white guy writing a book, how would you know? You would have to ask somebody that is there. And if you're the person that you're asking doesn't really care what you say or what you think, and is completely to the idea that you're going to lie anyway, so they'll just tell you anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And it's very, very true. I often find that there's very little truth on books that have been published back then to now. And now people that have actually done the study, as long as they have peer review, then that's cool. It's the other ones that don't. You know, there's a lot of people that have, you know, our foreign consulate
Mm-hmm.
for the United States government. He was, you know, he's the one that is in charge of all the tariffs. He wrote a book on, you know, how China and their trade deficit and everything else, and he was using this expert as his source for all of this stuff that he was writing, and he put like 4 or 5 books using this expert as a source. Well, come to find out that expert is actually him. He's the expert. Yeah. And so
Yeah.
he just used his name. He switched the letters around and made another name with his name. And that's how, you know, and he wrote like 4 or 5 books, and everybody's like, he's an expert on trade. And because the math didn't work. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
and I have a computer science degree and a minor in math. And I was like, that doesn't work. But it was when you find out, and then you're like, what? And he said it was just, it was so that he could get his point across. But, you know, it wasn't like deliberately misleading everybody. And I was like, yes, that's deliberately misleading. So there's a lot of stuff out there.
You have a minor in math?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm a math major.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I also have a degree in communications. I have a degree in telecommunications, and have a degree in Spanish as well.
Wow. I mean, I have applied mathematics and general engineering.
Oh, awesome. Very cool. Very cool. See, there you go.
Math majors, we're STEM. We're part of the STEM program.
Yeah, there we go. We'll start.
Wait, isn't it called STEAM now?
Yeah, they do call it.
Yeah, they call it STEAM because they added arts to it.
Yeah, they added arts to it, which is unfortunate because art should always be part of it. I said this the last time. The reason art should be always part of the school is when you go back to the very beginning of modern man.
Mm-hmm.
And like movies taught us, or a lot of people learned from movies that cavemen would grunt. No, they didn't.
No.
They didn't grunt. The way they communicated was chirps and whistles.
Oh.
Just like the birds. They would communicate that way. They would mimic the animals. That's why Native Americans have the chicken hawk dance. That's why they have the quail dance, the grass dancers, because they're mimicking the animals. That's what all of us do. Okay. They use chirps and whistles. However, you do not have any find any artifacts of back in the day that, like from caveman time, that is anything resembling an abacus. You know, the abacus was started, you know, I mean, they were using them in 5,000, you know, BC, but you don't find, you know, cavemen using an abacus. But what you do find is cavemen had paintings.
Yep.
They had pottery. They had jewelry. All of that is arts.
Yep.
That was part of us from the beginning. They saw it as something valuable. We should too.
Yeah. I 100% agree.
With that being said, it's come to the time of the show where you got to tell your thank yous and everything else. And it's just me stepping out and it's you by yourself. So go ahead. I'm sorry that we kind of went off the tangent there. But anyway, please go ahead.
I want to thank all you guys for attending this awesome podcast. My name is Candace Vargas. If you like or the music that you heard, you can find me on all my socials, CandaceVargas.com, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, Audius. Also, if you do want, physical copies of CDs, or if you want to hire me for different events, you can contact J&R Vargas Productions at gmail.com. And thank you again. I love you. Thank you to the fans. And I hope to see you guys soon.
And don't forget to go to her website.
CandaceVargas.com. Right there.
CandaceVargas.com. That's where you can find all of the news and information that you need for her, and where you can get some merch and everything else. So thank you so very much, Candace, for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
I hope you had a good time.
It was very informative.
Yeah,
very informative.
Yeah, just I don't know why I do that. Sorry. You know, I like to share. That's what it is. And some people are like, "What are you doing?" You know, it's a. Hopefully, it's a plus. I don't see it as a bad thing, but this is who I am 24/7.
Hey, I learned some new things, and I'm going to be going to look up some stuff after this.
I know he's wrong.
He's like, hold on, he said this. No,
yeah. I had a friend who he worked with me. I was one of the system programmers for Verizon for like 11 years, and he sat in a cubicle close to me, and he couldn't believe that I had all this knowledge, and so he would buy like those brain buster books.
Oh,
and
wow.
he would sit next to me, and he would ask me questions like every day. Even if we were having overtime or whatever, he would always ask me questions like, "What about this? And what about that? And what about this? And what about that?" And I always had an answer, and it drove him nuts. I think he went through like 5 books before he found a question that I didn't have an answer for. And, you know, he was just ecstatic. And I was like, yeah, 1 question out of 5 books, bro. That's like 2.5 years, man. But he was just, I was like, I'm sorry.
One.
Yeah. So it's okay though. Joel says, "Hey, it was very insightful." Thank you so very much, Joel. And by the way, you did really good on the guitar, great on harmonies. I always tell people that people don't understand that, you know, singing backup harmonies is very, very hard. It takes a lot of talent. It is not very easy. I've tried it before. It is not easy. You have to have talent on your own, and it doesn't come easy. So don't sit there and say, I can do it. No, you can't. So
it takes practice. I mean, I always say anyone can sing as long as you have enough practice. And if you want to sing, if you have that want and will, anybody can sing.
Yeah. But even still, it does take talent, and, you know, so good going on you. And hopefully you can, you know, keep moving forward. This is your house. If you ever want to come back, just go ahead and let us know. And you know, you're more than welcome to come on back. And, you know, I hope you had a good time. With that being said, guys, we're going to go ahead and let you go. Hopefully we can get you back on Monday. Vivian says, "God bless you and yours, Indio." Thank you so very much, Vivian. I really do appreciate you being here, sweetheart. Now, if y'all guys have had a bad day, if today was not your day, just remember, every day planes take off against the wind. You matter. You are loved. Be human to each other. Be kind. And we'll see you next time. And if you, Candace, if you could hold on so we can take care of some radio business. And then I'll go ahead and let y'all guys go. Thank you so very much. I'll see you on Monday. Monday, we have Angelica y Grupo Moneda that are going to be joining us and talking about their new music as well. We're going to leave you with No Siento Nada, the variant mix. Because DJ Variant is in the house. And so go ahead and remember CandaceVargas.com and go and support Tejano music. We'll see you next time. God bless.
Bye.
What happened? Oh, hey.
lado.